Kaiser123, hello. If he doesn't play a game, he gets banned, yeah. Hey, based admin, I can't get my mod code to work. Alright, thank you for reminding me. This is something else I wanted to talk about with 2chan. One of the most important things that I think 2chan can do for us is give me some legal advice for how to run the site. Because they have been protecting free speech and whatnot in Japan since the year 1999. That's even before 4chan was released in 2004. In fact, in 1999, I was only 5 years old. They know the laws inside and out, and they told me that the best thing to do is to rename everyone to volunteers. And they explained it to me as this. A volunteer is not obligated to moderate the site. They just volunteer to moderate the site. When you say that a site is moderated, you are putting a lot of duty upon yourself that the law does not require you to put upon yourself. I did not actually know that. And it sort of makes sense in the context of 4chan and what happened to their site, because Moot tried to moderate it. So the idea is to leave it unmoderated and to only respond to takedown requests. And that's what we're going to be doing now. So that's why I renamed everyone to volunteers. So to answer the original question, you just need to write board volunteer instead of board moderator, and then you can use your cap code. Yo, Hot Wheels, what's the port? I can't join. I believe it's the default port, which should be 30,000. Hot Wheels, please make it so we can have more than one board under the one username. Yes, that's important. I'm working on it. For now, you can make multiple usernames and save them all in Notepad or something, but I know that's not ideal. Does this mean 2chan and 8chan are combining? Will the English and Japanese sites remain separate? Will any of the 8chan features disappear? Alright, no. None of the features will disappear. What we're going to be doing is having two versions of the site. One version of the site will be just how it is now. No changes to the rules, no changes to any of the boards or anything like that. And then we're also going to be launching another site, which will be probably, I don't know, jp.8chan, and that will be a Japanese version of the site, which will be entirely in Japanese and for Japanese users to make their own boards. So that's part of what 2chan is getting out of this. So, okay, somebody is saying that board creation is not working. I heard a few people saying that to me in IRC too. I checked it out right before I started the stream, just so I could talk about it. It seems to be working for me. I was able to create a board. So, I'm going to do a little bit more debugging about it, but I was able to use the board creation. So, what else is 2chan getting out of this? Okay, 2chan is also helping us with, ads and stuff like that. Because, it's very hard to find advertisers when you have not been in this for very long. And as you guys probably all know, Google and all of them just reject all your ads. So we are going to be adding 2chan's ads. Will there be CAPTCHAs to protect from spam? No. There's not going to be CAPTCHAs. They're going to be optional, just like I said in the last stream. Where the board admins can choose whether or not they want CAPTCHAs on their board. What are you going to do about the sexism on 8chan? Absolutely nothing. What about flood detection? The flood detection should be fixed. A few people in IRC told me it was working again. If you're still having problems with it, shoot me an email. Do you use an OS that respects your freedoms? Yes, I do. The OS that I'm using right now is Arch Linux, and the OS that the 8chan server now runs on is Ubuntu. So yeah, it used to the 8chan server actually used to run on Arch too, but that is obviously not very sustainable in the face of the growth we've had. So it has been changed. Will the port of 4chan X be done soon? After I release the code on GitHub, I'm going to start making commits to it about the port and about other things. Today, I did not really get much done with the port. All I really was able to get done is switching over the server because it was a big process. Because I basically had to rewrite a lot of the scripts that we use to support Upstart instead of systemd. Um, what about Flash? You know what? I absolutely forgot about Flash, and I really need to add that. Uh, yeah, I was so busy with changing the server that I really did not get a lot of chance to work on features today. So, I'm sorry. Okay, will genitals be censored on 8chan because of the Japanese servers? Now, this is pretty interesting, and I did not know this because, again, as a gaijin, as somebody not from Japan, I did know pretty much nothing about 2chan, other than that it was a text board, and that, Futaba was stolen from it, and then, Moot stole 4chan from Futaba. That's pretty much all I knew about 2chan before this started. So, the fact of the matter is, though, that they are actually not even hosted in Japan. The 2chan servers are hosted in San Francisco. So that means that nothing is going to be changing in regards to that. Even the 2chan Japanese site is in San Francisco. 2chan, it's called 2channel. I'm sorry. I know I keep saying the wrong one. 2channel, 2channel. Yeah. Is Flash still planned? Yes. Uh, yeah, it's really hard to keep up with our chat here. Could you talk more about how you got into contact with 2channel? Yes, they sent me a tweet and they also joined IRC. I discussed it with them for about 5 hours last night. I want to say maybe it wasn't that long. It was pretty long. I want to say it was between 11 p.m. and 3:30 a.m. that I was hashing this out with them. Are you filtering your voice or are you just a huge... I don't even know why this channel has censorship. It says, are you just a huge star, star, star? I don't know if that's a Twitch setting or if I have to turn that off. No, I'm not filtering my voice, though. It's one of the symptoms of the bone condition I have. Do you know that you are making history? Um, I want to say yes. Okay, somebody just asked me, instead of hoping that something happens to you, or that somebody copies the code if something happens to me, if I'm going to set up a way for somebody to take over 8chan. And the good thing about that is that now that it's hosted in 2channel's data center, they can do that now. So that means that there is a fault plan in case something does happen to me. Yeah. Slow mode on chat now. I don't actually use Twitch that much, so let's see. Alright, I figured it out right away. There you go, slow mode. That'll actually help me a lot so that I can just answer good questions instead of read the spam. Does 2chan have knowledge about US censorship law? Yes, because their servers are hosted in San Francisco, like I said. So that means that they obey US laws. Even the Japanese site, as I said earlier, is hosted in San Francisco. That's what makes this really perfect. Will you allow straw poll embedding? I don't know why you can't just post a link to a straw poll. I don't know why I would need to embed that. Please say we're going to have cross-channing Japanese posters everywhere. As I said earlier, we are planning to make two versions of the site with two different board databases. The English version of the site, or at least the international version we're going to call it, will have the current board database where you can have boards in German, boards in Polish, boards in Spanish, and then there's going to be another version of the site which is going to be just Japanese. So whether we're going to have a lot of crossover, I don't know. We might have some. Will WT Snacks come to 8chan? I talked to him a little bit on IRC last night. I originally wanted him to come and moderate the B-board because I thought that it would be pretty funny. But he told me he was not interested. So Snacks had a chance to come back and he didn't want to. So I guess we can finally lay that to rest. When will the images get fixed? They should be fixed already. I might have to clear Cloudflare's cache. So I'll do that after the stream is done. What are the specs of your computer? My current computer is quite old. I built it by myself in 2010, late 2010. It has an i5, except the old version of it, and it has an old graphics card too. Okay. Would you consider partnership with Pirate Bay if they were down? Since I've already partnered with 2chan, I don't think I could partner with two people at once. So I'm gonna have to say no to that. 2channel, I mean. Will Gaijin be able to post on 8ch.jp? The answer to that is I don't know. I know that on the 2channel regular site, they ban some foreign IPs, or maybe all of them. I speak Japanese a little. It's very, very poor. So I don't try to post there. But if they decide that they want to make it so that non-Japanese users can't use 8chan.jp, I wouldn't have a problem with that because we already have the international version of the site. Hot Wheels. Do you like the nickname Hot Wheels? I said this in the last stream, but I guess it can be repeated. The name is fine with me. I actually think it's pretty cool. I don't really care what people call me, though, because I'm not a narcissist like Moot. It doesn't really matter. You know, you guys can call me whatever you want, no matter how offensive it is. I'm not going to delete your posts. So, you know, even if it were to offend me, I wouldn't try to suppress it. Allow Tor users to create accounts. One thing we were thinking of doing for Tor, I don't know, I'm going to have to discuss it with the people at 2channel now. I was thinking that maybe we could, for Tor users, have them fill out a CAPTCHA, because there are a lot of spam bots and illegal content on the Tor network, so it's kind of hard to support on a ClearNet site. Please tell me that there will be no tracking cookies on the new ads. Please. I don't think there are. I looked at 2channel's ads, and I didn't see any. I didn't really look very hard though. So, and that's also something I didn't ask. I imagine that the two-channel ads are just going to be GIF files, like the ones that I see when I load the page. How do you plan to deal with shills? JIDF, SRS, and the shillbot come to mind. Uh, because the users are moderating those boards, for example, all the boards you brought up, V, poll, the board moderator, or the board volunteer as we're calling them now, is going to have to decide how they're going to deal with shills themselves. They might start banning the ranges that the shills are using to post. And if the shills become too much of a problem, uh, we're going to have to, you guys are probably just going to have to make smaller boards to try to avoid them, unfortunately. Yes, that's right, volunteering. It's a little bit of a challenge for me to remember to say that word, but I will get better at it as time goes along. Has Mook contacted you since the whole debacle? No, he has not. I have tried to tweet him a couple times, and he has pretty much ignored me. So, that's alright. I think he thinks that 4chan is permanent, and that nothing can happen to it, and that he can just do whatever he wants, and with basically impunity, and people will just put up with his nonsense forever. So, I mean, he can think that, and actually, it's in our interest that he does think that, because that way, when he's the only person posting on 4chan, he'll finally realize. Is there evidence of the two-channel merge? If you check out my Twitter, you can see that one of the developers messaged me last night about the partnership. Once we have the 8chan site stable, they're going to be adding it to the 2chan homepage too. Right now, as far as 2channel is concerned, it's more of a test to see if I can do it. So I just really hope I don't screw it up. Hot Wheels, are you aware of the global Jewish conspiracy and is your boss involved in it? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't think there is any conspiracy. But if you want to post about any supposed conspiracy on 8chan, you are free to. I watched your video about your story. I was very moved. Is there any way I can help you as a user? If you check out the FAQ page on 8chan, you'll see that there's a couple donation options. As far as donations go, I'm pretty set right now, especially now that 2channel has moved in and is hosting us. So, if you just want to help me out, you can send money to my PayPal. Will you please turn on webcam? I'm sorry, I don't have a webcam on this computer. This is my desktop and it only has a headset. What's your favorite board-based Hot Wheels? I would say that my favorite board on 8chan right now is the tech board. It doesn't have a lot of posts right now though, so. But yeah, that's my favorite one. The A board is also coming along quite well. People are asking me to join TeamSpeak. Um, I don't even know if there's a Linux client for that, and I don't really feel like looking into it right now. Maybe for the next stream. If you contact me in IRC or email with the link to the TeamSpeak, I will try to set it up before then, maybe. I'll have to see what it's all about. Will 8chan also take over features of 2channel like a text board? I don't believe so, no. To what extent do you think late text could be abused by ship posters? I feel like it could be an issue as the site grows. Um, I actually did not even remember that latex was enabled because before all of this started, 8chan was a very small site and I only used B for testing. And I knew that somebody wanted to make a science board, like the one on 4chan, which has latex. So I was just testing it out on B and then I figured out it worked. And then I added it to the options page. Now, when this became big, I didn't even remember that I forgot to disable it. But at this point, there's pretty much no stopping it. Everybody likes it on B. I even started a poll seeing if I should remove it. It was unilaterally no. So, need any help from other programmers? 8chan sounds like a lot of work for one person. It is a lot of work. Just transferring the site today, I got pretty much no features done. And, that's pretty disappointing to me, personally, because, I was hoping, that I could have gotten the band page and other stuff done today. But transferring the server took a lot longer than I was expecting. A lot more headache. Um, but I will be releasing it on GitHub. So if other developers want to help, they'll be able to submit pull requests. And I think that's what's going to speed up the development more than anything. You have been very open and approachable with regards to communications during this Exodus buzz. Will that continue in the future, or do you want to be more reclusive like certain other Chan admins? I feel like honesty is the best policy, especially because we've been dealing with very dishonest people like Moot. So I plan to be open about what's going on with the site, for as long as I can. In fact, I would even say that if I stop being open about what's going on with the site, you can probably even assume that some three-letter agency has gotten to me. Do you have a new chair or still need one? I have a new chair, I don't need one at this time. Um, J. Kenu. Turbo, alright, that's what that means. Are there any legal problems you face with 8chan? Uh, this is, as I discussed earlier in the stream, this is the best thing about having 2channel on board. They aren't lawyers, but they've been doing this for 15 years, and they know all the laws in regards to free speech on the clear, on the ClearNet as opposed to Tor. So, right now, I don't think I need legal help. If anybody has a legal opinion about things that I'm doing, please submit it to me though, because if there are any lawyers here, I'd be very interested in reading any legal opinion you might have about the site, the volunteers, how I have it set up. You know, I'm not a lawyer. I don't really know the law very well, but there's that. How do we convert our brothers and sisters on 4chan before it's too late? Uh, I don't really know, and I just hope that they continue to find alternative Chan sites, even if it's not mine. I said this last stream too. Even if they join Master Chan or 7chan or 420chan or any of the other Chans that are out there, it's a lot better than them using 4chan with its corrupt administrator. So, I just hope that, everybody there can find somewhere else to go. When exactly did you start 8chan and why? I started 8chan in October 2013, and I started it because already Moot was censoring some small threads, and so I just wanted a place where people could make boards for any threads he was deleting. Are you making any money off the merger? Can you answer this question? We have it split. Well, so far I haven't made any money, so this isn't really an issue right now. Um, we have a revenue split agreement as far as the ads go. Uh, I don't really want to talk about it until the ads are actually up and I know, exactly what we're going to do. And I don't really want to talk about it until we actually have a contract signed yet either. So I don't really know what the money situation is going to be. Um, why is it so lonely in that game? I don't know. I don't see anybody around. I'm not really focusing on the game, but I don't know. Maybe if I rejoin, it'll help. Oh, you know what? The server may have crashed. Oh, never mind. The server might just be slow. Will you add a small legal area to the site? At the very least, what's legally defined? Uh, I don't really know how to write a legal definition like that. Um, where would you recommend to start learning code? Uh, I started to learn code by learning Python. I started with Python 2. Uh, you can choose to do that. I don't really know if my advice is going to be the best about it. Alright, somebody's asking me why I removed the option to upload from URL. I haven't answered this yet, but I can now. The option to upload from URL can be exploited so that people can have their own server and then put an image on it, and then they can reveal the IP of the actual server itself instead of going behind the Cloudflare reverse proxy. Now, when we have it set up so that I'm not using Cloudflare anymore, it's not going to be a problem, and I'll be able to enable that again. But for now, so that we can have Cloudflare's anti-DDoS stuff, I needed to remove that. Why do we get blocked by Cloudflare when we try to access 8chan through Tor? Uh, Cloudflare works, it basically builds a blacklist. So Tor has a bunch of IPs that are shared among a lot of users, some of which don't do very nice things. So the reason that that's happening to you is because somebody else who has had that IP before on the Tor network has used it to cause problems for other sites. How are you going to prevent DDoS and the other stuff without Cloudflare? 2channel is going to be helping out with that. People are asking me if I'm still planning to move back to New Jersey. Uh, I really have no idea what's going to happen in the next couple weeks. Um, I just don't know. Uh, I don't know how much, I'll be able to make from this. I don't know if I'll be able to stay here in New York. I don't know if I'll have to move back to New Jersey. I don't know how the ad revenue is going to work out. I don't know, you know, if it's even going to succeed at all. I'm putting, everything I have into it, but there's still a lot of stuff that I don't know. So, will the merger with 2Channel change the site at all, such as ads? The only thing that's really going to change is adding ads. All the other rules stay the same. Are you in New York City? I've lived here. Yeah, please send me an email. I do live in New York City right now. Is it just me or is this game really, really glitched? Um, I suppose people may have messed with the server, which is alright, but it seems like people are just floating in the air. Why did 2Channel come to you if they have Futaba? This is a common misconception in the um, Western Chan community that the reason, or that 2Channel and 2Chan are the same. And I even mess it up sometimes because I'm just so used to hearing them used interchangeably. Uh, 2Channel does not own Futaba. They're different sites, they have different owners, uh, and stuff like that. Does your boss know about any of this? Yeah, he knows about most of it, I would say. I mean, he knows my Twitter account, so. Anyone else tired of 8chan already? I'm probably just going to go back to 4. That's up to you if you want to go back to 4 or not. I would caution you against it, but up to you. Why did 2Channel seek you out in the first place? I don't really know. I imagine that they wanted... 2Channel is only in Japanese right now. There are a few threads where you can post in English. But other than that, they're just a Japanese, website. I imagine, like, I'm not them, so I don't know what they were, thinking when they came to me with the offer. But I imagine that they were thinking, it would be good to have a site for foreigners, uh, as well. What's the most interesting board that you think might pop up? Uh, well, for me, the most interesting board that has popped up was the Gamergate board, because that's what started all this. NYC guy here, where can I find your email? It is admin@8chan.co. It's at the bottom of all the pages on 8chan, and it's also in the frequently asked questions. Whoever told me to restart the game to fix the bugs, thanks. Do you think that move lacked integrity from the get-go, or that it just changed over time? Uh, That's a really good question, and I have not been on 4chan since the beginning of 2004, so I don't really know. And in 2006, I was only 12. So I don't really know if he lacked integrity the whole time. I just know from my memories that he has never been deleting so many threads like he has been lately. So whether he lacked integrity from the get-go, I don't know. But it's very obvious that he does now. And that's really what's important. It seems like he will do anything pretty much to distance himself from 4chan so that, he can go to conferences like XOXO and stuff like that. What are you going to do with all that money you're going to get from Patreon? After it's done, I'm going to be releasing a financial report so you can see where all of it goes. Everything will be accounted for, all the money on Patreon. The reason I can't say exactly what I'm going to do with the money is because until they actually add it to my account balance, everyone can just change their pledges. So, that's just promised money. That's not actually received money. So when it becomes received, um, I'll release a report with the expenses that I've accrued so far in setting up 8chan and uh, where all of it went. Will you publish the IRC transcripts with the 2 channel guys? I can ask them. I can ask them if they would allow me to do that. Um, if they say no, though, I'm not gonna break their confidence. If you're open sourcing, how are you going to prevent exploits? That's a silly question. Will mods be paid in Hot Pockets? First of all, there are no mods anymore, there are only volunteers. And second of all, they won't be paid at all. So, people are asking me for my thoughts on poll. I actually, a few days ago, I think 2 days ago, I joined a thread on poll and talked a little bit about it. And the basic gist is that I think that poll is one of the most important boards on the site because it's the politics board. And there's obviously going to be a lot of opinions that are differing on there, and but as far as the politics board goes, I think it's the most important one because that's the place where free speech really needs to be respected the most. So I would say that the politics board needs to have the loosest moderation of any of them. An Anon from Tech has started working on an HNX. I told a few people that we're going to be, if he's writing like a big script that does everything that that 4chanx does, we're not going to be able to accept that. We're splitting off every feature into different scripts. So, if you could have him email me, and I'll talk to him a little bit how or at least how I'm planning to do it, based on how the code already is. Because we already have quite a few features from them. Do you vote? Yes. In 2012, in the primary, I voted for Ron Paul, and for the election, I voted for Gary Johnson. Are you worried that this entire situation is only temporary, and your investments in HN will be worthless as everything dies down and returns to normal? Not very, no. Because as far as investments go, if the Patreon money comes through, there's going to be extra to give. So, the only thing that would really be wasted is my time investment. Any plans for mobile apps? Mobile apps are not going to come officially from me, but I do have an API set up that that mobile app developers can leverage. So please shout out. Oh, yeah, I was in that InstaSyncs room earlier. I didn't really get it. So, um, your primary method of income. Yeah, the primary income, if this gets big, and is probably going to be ad revenue. Yeah, just like on 2channel. How worried are we about obscenity legislation? Okay, I keep mentioning this, but 2channel is hosted in San Francisco. Japanese law does not apply. It does not matter what is legal or illegal in Japan. Just like before, it only matters what is legal and illegal in the United States. When are you going to implement tab title notifications? I have that script almost done, and if I didn't transfer the server today, I could have finished it. So, um, I'm actually thinking I've answered the most important questions, and I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. So, I think I'm going to end the stream, probably at 9 o'clock. I'll do this for an hour and then end it. So, and then I'll get right back to work on the site features. How about the themes applying to catalogs? They already should, but I did notice that they didn't. So that's a bug, and I'll work it out. The themes already should be applying to catalogs. Okay, people are asking me to address the child porn question. So far, that's what our global volunteers are for. Um, if you read my post on Meta, you'll see how they're chosen. They're chosen among the biggest board moderators. And when they see, illegal content like child pornography, other things that break the obscenity laws in the United States, they'll delete it, on a volunteer basis. So, that's how I'm addressing that question. If I come across a board that is specifically for that kind of content, I'll delete it, or if it's reported to me. Did you expect the stream to blow up so big? I think this is double the users we had last time. So, have you gotten any reaction from the anti-GG crowd? Uh, so far, no. I think that they know that it would be terribly ironic for them to go after me, so, I haven't gotten any reaction at all from, anybody that's against, Gamergate, any kind of, feminists on Twitter or anything. I haven't gotten any reaction. Do you care if we use ad block? No, I don't care. If you don't want to support the site, when it does have ads, that's your prerogative. It doesn't affect me at all if you don't want to, look at the ads. I block ads on a lot of sites too, so I really cannot say anything against it without being a hypocrite. Ah, Coupe de Grace just said I am IRL friends with Moot. So, that makes sense why he was chilling in here earlier. that, oh, we should all go back to 4chan. Yes, I remembered your username, so not a big surprise there. I already have found that there are a lot of people that are shilling for 4chan on 8chan. So, they're making false threads about how their posts got deleted or they got banned, even though they were never banned. There was one on B Sticky last night. Hot Wheels, do you have a Steam account? I do. I don't use it very often. I think it's. I'll put what I think it is in the chat. I think it's that. Um, that might be my Steam, but I don't actually remember. Okay, why does B have flags? And this is the same answer as the latex answer. It has flags because I was using it to test if the flags worked, and then I got this big flood of users and it still had flags. So that's why it has flags. I wanted to remove them. I opened a poll, but the majority of users were against it. I'm trying to run B mostly as a democracy. It's my board, like I'm the board volunteer of it, so that's how I'm running B right now, but sorry if I missed it, but what is the legal status on raids? That is a very good question. And I have to tell you, Pizza 8chan, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure they're legal, and I have instructed people not to delete them, and not to delete, invasion boards, but I don't actually know. So if there's any lawyers in here, and you want to chime in what you think the legal status of raids is, let me know. I would love to know, because searching the web, I have found pretty much nothing about it. What will your approach be when if mainstream controversies such as fappening are focused on 8chan? Uh, I can't really say until one of those things were to occur. But as far as I'm concerned, people that are posting illegal things on the site are the ones that are guilty. The owner of the server, myself, is not guilty of anything people are doing. That could be raiding, that could be uploading, fappening photos. That's on their heads. So, if the federal government really wants to go after anyone, they should be going after the people who are actually causing the issues, instead of going after random website admins. Because if people want to find that kind of content, they're going to be able to very simply anyway. Alright guys, it's 8:56 right now, so that's 4 minutes left. Is red text supposed to not work? Yes, red text is a heading. That's what it was made for. It's supposed to be like a heading on Wikipedia. Um, so, yeah, it's supposed to be, one line as a heading. That's why it doesn't work. Okay, people are asking me about the pickup artist board. I haven't looked at it, so I can't give you my comment right now. Can you type on a Model M keyboard? Yeah, that's the kind of keyboard I have. People are asking me if I'll ever share anything without a judiciary order, and the answer to that is no. There's no reason that I would have to. They wouldn't be able to, just come in and say that they want, data off the server if they didn't have a court order. That doesn't even make sense. So, another thing is that server logs are deleted very quickly. I only keep the last hour or so of IP logs. Now, as far as content posted on the site, the IP is retained so that the user can be banned. So, but as far as access logs, those are not kept for a long time. How long have I been browsing sites like 4chan? I would say pretty much every day since I was 12 in 2006. Discussion of illegal content like drugs and terrorism. Alright, just like 420chan, drug discussion is allowed if you don't discuss sourcing. So that means if you don't discuss where to find them, if you don't discuss, things like that, it's definitely allowed. I actually go on 420chan quite a bit. I would say it was my favorite alternate chan before this. I especially like the psychedelic board. What are my thoughts on underage banning? Um, I think if a user says that they're underage and they're obviously on a porn board, then they should be banned. But if they don't say anything about it, I don't, and if we would have no way to know. So the only way that they could ever get banned is by outing themselves. Wise Kills Guys says, um, now everybody's asking me um, if I want to trip with them or something. Uh, I would have to say no. I would say as far as set and setting is concerned, you should only trip with people that you actually know very well. You shouldn't just trip with random strangers on the internet. So I would say no. But, if I got to know you, then yes. Alright, it's 9 o'clock. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any questions, as usual, please email me, admin@8chan.co. You can also contact me in IRC. You can contact me via Twitter too, at InfiniteChan. So, alright guys, I might do another stream if I have a big topic like this 2channel thing to talk about again. I don't foresee that happening though. I don't want to be doing streams like this every day. It was just such a big issue right now that I felt I had to discuss it. So, thank you all for watching.